This is the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
This apartment above his drugstore was the home of the late Calvin Hanley. Now, the place and its contents belong to his son, Paul Hanley, including bitter memories and strange secrets.
Come in.
I've completed an inventory, Mr. Hanley.
All right, fine.
Except for this room.
Will I be in your way?
No, you won't bother me a bit. Now, let's see. One bed.
One bed, shared by Mr. and Mrs. Calvin Hanley for 11 years.
Chair, pictures, one bureau.
One bureau, used by Mr. Hanley since the death of his wife.
Black, whatnot, photographs.
Photographs. The entire Hanley family, Mr. and Mrs. Hanley, their beloved son, Paul, their beloved daughter, Elizabeth.
You don't want to auction these.
Why, wouldn't they bring much?
Anything in those bureau drawers?
Now, let's see. Strange how much people lock up during their lives. Keys, Mr. Arvin.
Yes, I see them. One rocker.
Yes, this rocker dates back to 1800, I believe. My mother used to sit here. Mr. Arvin, have you any idea how many rocking chairs were manufactured in the United States last year?
You know what's in this closet?
No, I don't have the slightest idea.
It's locked.
Suppose we should find out.
Bring it out. Can't tell what's in it without looking.
Well, one locked trunk kept locked in a closet. Contents unknown.
Hello, Alice. Hello. The bank thermometer registers 4 above 0.
Does it?
It's cold in here, too. It was cold this morning at breakfast.
We didn't seem to have much to say to each other.
Is that it, Mother? Or is it what we're not saying now?
What aren't we saying?
We quarreled about a trip that never took place.
We did know it wouldn't take place.
You never seem so distant to me.
I'm not distant.
Is it me? Am I the one that's being distant? It wasn't so long ago I used to say I love you. And you used to say,
I love you too. But you began to object to that.
I only wondered why we had to say it so often, that's all. I love you.
Oh, Allison.
Carson, I have the most wonderful mother. Mr. Carson?
I'm glad to hear it.
I didn't realize. Is your father all right?
He's fine.
He likes Florida? Well, when you see him, would you give him my love? Interrupting you?
You are? I suppose you came here to complain.
About what?
The typographical error in the Observer column.
I didn't notice.
Well, didn't you read it? Everyone else in Peyton Place did.
It embarrasses me now.
Being the Observer?
I don't understand what I see. I see things, but I don't understand them.
Very few people do.
Very few people have the gall to call themselves the Observer and write a column in a newspaper.
A small-town newspaper.
Uncle Matt's newspaper. I just saw Betty Anderson, Harrington, going into the courthouse. I don't even know what to call her anymore.
Annulment proceedings.
You gonna write it up in the Clarion?
Just a factual report.
Today in Peyton County Courthouse, the marriage of Rodney Harrington and Betty Anderson is hereby wiped away.
Well, that's not the way it'll read.
It's the way I'm gonna read it. I am getting so confused and frightened. Things keep disappearing. People, too.
Calvin Hanley?
I saw that sign on the door of the store. Closed due to death of proprietor. Only it just read prop. Death of prop. It was so sad. What are they going to do with the store?
It's up for sale.
Oh, then there'll be a new druggist. It's very strange. I didn't really know Mr. Hanley, but now I feel he was an old friend. I used to go in there when I was little and order a soda. I was terrified of him. I'm frightened now, Uncle Matt. Things change so quickly. I just want to hold on. I stopped in and saw Mother, and I held on. I held on.
Didn't she hold on to you, too?
Yes.
She needs you, Allison.
You said that in a special way.
I meant it in a very special way.
Why won't she ask me to help her?
She does, Allison. She does.
Oh, Uncle Matt. I'm always going to call you Uncle Matt. I wish I weren't so very young.
I wish I were.
And now the Observer's going to run away and catch her bus to Peyton College. Goodbye, Uncle Matt.
Here's the mail, Doctor, and the file on Gail Chapman.
Oh, thank you. Is it all clear out there?
All clear.
How are you catching on?
All right, I think. What do you think?
Well, I think you're doing very well.
Oh, I couldn't help noticing the card from Laura Brooks.
Well, postcards aren't supposed to be private anyway, are they?
I suppose not.
It's funny, you never think the winters would be this cold in Rome.
Well, they have to be warmer than Peyton Place. Wish I were there.
What, in Rome? In Laura's place, just wandering around?
Maybe not. It's just that here everything seems so hopeless. Georgie in Greenvale, Betty over there in the courthouse having her marriage annulled. Will I ever be a mother to her again, Doctor?
Well, you asked the wrong question. What you mean is, will she ever be a daughter to you?
Yes, that's what I mean. She wouldn't let me go with her,
Well, that doesn't mean she doesn't want you there.
doesn't it?
Julie. The Indian, the American Indian, many of the tribes have a custom. A youth would have to go off by himself out into the wilderness, into a solitude to search for himself before he can become a warrior.
Betty is hardly a young man, Doctor.
No, but in today's society, we all become warriors, don't we?
At least in the courthouse, she isn't alone.
Yes, she is, Julie. At this moment, she's very much alone.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. McVeigh, you're representing the plaintiff?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dowell, the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's proceed.
Your name?
Betty Harrington.
Your maiden name?
Anderson, Betty Anderson.
Your husband's name?
Rodney Harrington.
Middle name?
I don't know it. M for something.
Martin.
Martin?
Now, Betty, did Rodney Harrington ever say or do anything which made you aware that he was not in fact or in feeling able to be a true husband to you?
Yes.
And what was that?
He said, he didn't want any children.
He didn't want any children at the present or at any time?
At any time, he didn't want anything.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. We concede the testimony to be, in fact, truthful.
On the basis of the testimony, court orders the judgment granted. The marriage entered into by the plaintiff and by Rodney M. Harrington is hereby annulled. Plaintiff has restored the use of her maiden name.
That's all?
Hello, Betty.
Hello, Dr. Rossi. Well, what am I supposed to do with this?
Well, I don't know.
In Reno, they throw their old wedding rings in some river.
Yeah, the Truckee River.
Oh, have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Well, I could go to the wharf.
Why don't you try just putting it in your purse?
No, I could keep it and look at it from time to time.
Listen, you hungry?
No.
Why don't you come over to the inn and have lunch with me?
Are you being the good doctor?
Well, I'm being a good doctor.